This one took a while. I know it's been a bit since my last video. Not that it was an insanely long break between videos, but considering how long I'd been mulling this one around, etc., I don't know. Work and life and Crimson Desert and the new Warframe update got in the way for a bit. I'd beaten Sekiro a while ago, but considering how well Shifu went, I figured Sekiro would be a frustrated education. But before we get into that, I'm going to quickly deflect. See what I did there? I know. I'm so funny. And ask that you hit that subscribe button, and please tell me how you found or find Sekiro. I loved the little discussions that happened with the Shifu video, and definitely want to keep that up. I also, in full transparency, want to say that a lot of the footage came from Reflections of Strength, as I didn't think I would make a video like this about Sekiro, so I didn't capture much of the gameplay I got from this playthrough. I wasn't fully certain I would make a video about it. I just played it as I kind of just wanted to, and then the ideas for this video fell into place. Anyway, thank you, and back to it. But shockingly, it wasn't that frustrating an education, at least not in the way I thought it would be. Within one sitting, I got through Genichiro's first fight in only 4 tries, like to that story point. In the first 3, I got incredibly far into the fight. And this is where my frustration started. I had the opposite problem with Sekiro than I did with Shifu. I was doing well, and because it had been so long since my last playthrough, and since then I've played many games and seen as how well this Shifu video did, many of you saw how poorly that went. I expected this to be going much, much worse than it actually was. I felt like a bit of a fraud. I'm not good at video games. That is a known fact amongst my friends. I love games. They are my main hobby. But put me in an online lobby and I'm going to lose in competitive formats. Put me in Elden Ring and I'll need summons. Pit me against Yang, and you know the drill. So why was I doing well in Sekiro? I know I had the practice, but to be honest, I really struggled to beat it the first time. And it took me days to beat Ishin my first time through. That's when I realized that Sekiro never really leaves you. Ask anyone who has played it. Unless they are weird, they most definitely have great memories and can tell you all about their challenges against the bosses. The first time you play, you're nervous because the game is designed so incredibly different from the usual Souls formula. Instead of dodging or blocking, if you hesitate here, you will die. Hence the tagline. Once you remember that, the game is a lot easier. I still sometimes fell into old habits, but it was much less common. It was once again the usual bosses giving me the most trouble. Owl, Ishin, etc. Those were the ones I struggled with the most my first time through. And I think why I struggled the second time through was because I remembered the struggle from the first time around. I was suddenly back in the same chair. That hasn't changed, but I was the same guy fighting them the first time, getting frustrated, refusing to learn, but I wasn't going to allow that to happen this time. Every time I died fighting them again, I wasn't just fighting them, I was fighting myself. I would tell myself, see, you're really not that good at this, you barely scraped by the first time. It was my own self-doubt that was the enemy here. Just because I struggled once and will struggle again doesn't mean I can't learn from each death. That's the point. You learn, you parry, you dodge if you have to, you beat them. Yes, I struggled a lot against Owl and Ishin, but I still got here, didn't I? I've beaten them before, didn't I? And if it takes me days again to beat Ishin, then so be it. I am one stubborn person and I will do it out of pettiness if I have to, is what past me would have said. This time I took a deep breath and said, you've done this before, you know what to do. If you die, that's okay. Yes, I got frustrated, but again, that's okay. You won't get the timing down every time, unless you're one of those Sekiro gods that could play the game with their eyes closed and hands tied behind their back. But I'm not one of those gods, which is why most of the gameplay footage is me dying over and over again, and fighting the 2 main bosses I struggled with. It's to show that struggle. Sometimes going to fight Ishin wouldn't happen because I lost to Genichiro. That also made things worse because if I lost to him, I would get into my head about that, saying things like, wow, you couldn't even beat him to get to Ishin. It was tough, but I still did it. Now I don't have much of that footage because I don't know if I really wanted to record all of that. It wouldn't make sense for this in my mind. I'd come home from work and play Sekiro of all things. It was not pretty to watch or play. But again, it's kind of the point. I'm going kind of off script here by saying that, but to me, Sekiro is a very personal game. It's very much about your own mindset, and that's not something that everyone's going to experience the same way. That sort of imposter syndrome, I guess, feeling never really left me, but I learned to not let it control me. I know it may seem silly to be getting all psychological about video games, but I really do think they have allowed me to grow in a more psychological sense. Man, if I could beat Sword Saint Ishin, I can do, I don't know, something else that's hard. I can't think of a concrete example right now, but lately I've been replaying the games that have stuck with me the most throughout my life, and I know it's partly for this channel, but also it's partly because, as I alluded to in my first two videos, which were rough, I'm at a crossroads in my life of really spreading my wings. So I'm in a contemplative place, I guess. These games allowed me to think much more deeply about subjects I find interesting, and they also touch upon themes I find important. For Sekiro, it beats you over the head about hesitation and not taking anything for granted. I mean, in the game, if you take a microsecond for granted, you have to fight Genichiro all over again to fight Ishin. But in the real world, hesitation can also very much be defeat. You have to commit to it to win, and I think that's really powerful and beautiful in the context of the real world. When I started this channel, I just wanted to talk about stuff as I played games. But now I find myself really loving the kind of video game essay slash diary kind of format I've adopted. I love kind of oversharing my thoughts and connecting it to bigger things. And with Sekiro, I find it easy because of how the core game mechanic is what connects it. And yet, I almost didn't want to make a video about it because at the same time, it is very personal to me, which is why I'm committing to making this video. You have to take risks and break the bad habit of waiting too long, otherwise you'll fail. Otherwise, a guy with a lightning spear and oddly timed combos will kick your ass. Now, that's not to say you can't stop and enjoy the ride, it's all about balance. Like in Sekiro, shocker, I know what this video's about, you have to balance parrying and striking back. Parrying will only get you so far, same as striking, because either you stall or burn out. But find that balance? Sure, you'll fail sometimes, that is bound to happen. I'm never going to beat Ishin first try, but I'll try again, and eventually you'll succeed. God, this is corny, but I don't care. All of this is what Sekiro makes me think about most of the time. Of course, the story is there and whatnot, but to me, when I think of Sekiro, it's more about how it makes me feel, not where the wolf is going next. And that's why, when I finally beat Ishin on this playthrough, I wasn't attacking myself anymore. Sure, I messed up multiple times, as you're seeing, because again, I just wanted to play the game. I didn't punish myself. Sure, I'm still not some secret esports athlete, but that doesn't matter. But it did prove that when we struggle through something, be it Sekiro or life itself, those lessons don't leave us. They may take a little vacation, but they always come back. So to wrap this up, Sekiro on my first playthrough was a frustrating education in the sense of actually playing the game. But on the second time around, it was a frustrating education in the psychological sense. I'm at a crossroads, and facing down these bosses again and learning to beat them again has helped me to a degree. It reminded me that, just like the wolf, you can adapt. You can parry, and when the time is right, strike back. You don't always have to be on the offensive or defensive. You just have to learn to use either at the appropriate time, and that itself takes trial and error. You can't hesitate when learning. Remember, hesitation is defeat. And for me, another lesson is record the game when you're playing it, because I'm probably going to make a video on it because I like to overthink everything. Way to end this deep video with a train whistle blowing in the background and me going off the cuff again. But in all seriousness, if you watched to the end of the video, thank you so much. And it's been really amazing to see like a video of mine crack 100 views. That meant the world to me, and the comments were amazing. Sorry for taking a while. Like I said earlier, work and then playing this game was a struggle, but I don't know. I like the script I wrote for it. I'm not sure what's next. I've been playing a lot of Crimson Desert, but I know I said I wouldn't make a video on Sekiro in my head, but this time I actually probably won't make a video on Crimson Desert. Not enough of really of a plot to deep dive to me. Watch me run that back and make a video anyway, though. If I ever actually beat it, it's just kind of fun to mess around in there. Anyway, this ending is getting too long. Okay, bye guys.